In real estate, all across the US, we've been in a strong seller's market for the past 3-4 years, but there have been signs that things are shifting toward the buyer side. My name is Jocaro Dodd, Maryland realtor, and I'm going to give you an update for the real estate market here in Maryland and why things may have gotten better for you as a buyer and what you need to do to get your home sold if you're selling. Before I get into it, hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss the weekly videos I post to educate you on all things real estate. All right, let's get into it. A seller's market happens when there's not enough supply or houses for sale to meet the amount of buyers there are in the market. During this time, sellers have the upper hand in negotiating, which is why in 2020 through 2022, when interest rates fell to record lows and everyone could afford to buy a home, prices skyrocketed and buyers were forced in most cases to waive inspections and waive appraisal contingencies and write offers way over asking price just to be competitive. I remember seeing a property just list on a Friday and scheduling a showing for one of my buyers to see the property on that Sunday. The listing was removed from the market by 5 p.m. Saturday evening. So I called the listing agent and I was just like, what's up? Spoke about this, what's going on? And she told me she had over 70 showings on the property and most of the buyers were planning to write an offer, so she just had to remove it. Now, this was during the pandemic when interest rates had been lowered and people were still trying to figure things out, but it was not uncommon to see 20 or more buyers lined up outside waiting to see a property after it was just lifted. Fast forward to today, properties are sitting on the market a lot longer and I've noticed a lot more price adjustment. I read an article published by Redfin and they confirmed the gap in the amount of sellers versus buyers has closed. In this report, Redfin defines a market where there are over 10% more sellers than buyers as a buyer's market, in a market where there are over 10% fewer sellers and buyers as a seller's market. A market where the gap is a plus or minus 10% is considered a balanced market. Baltimore, as of May 30th, when this article was published, was at 11.8% more buyers than sellers. So by definition, Baltimore is still a seller's market, but on the cusp of becoming a balanced market. The DMV area is a balanced market at 9.6% more sellers than buyers. So what does this mean for you as a buyer or a seller? For my buyers, there's a lot more opportunity to negotiate. I have a friend that bought a new construction home, and when he went under contract, I think spring 2024 in Baltimore County, the builder was only giving them 10 to 15K in closing and down payment assistance. Another client of mine recently bought in the same neighborhood and went under contract winter 2025, and I was able to negotiate $25,000 in closing and down payment assistance. I've also seen this as a listing agent. I have a listing that I feel is priced right and it's getting a lot of activity, and the feedback I've gotten from the buyers is they like the house, but they want to see a few more before making a final decision, or they have a top two and will be waiting to make a decision tomorrow or some other future date. This never would have been a thing a few years ago because while you're sleeping on it, half of the other buyers in Maryland are writing offers. So again, if you're a buyer, take advantage of this cooling market, and while getting 25K in closing costs won't be everyone's story, the leverage has for sure tilted toward the buyer side. Do keep in mind, this will not be the case for every home on the market. There are certain neighborhoods that will remain competitive, and if the property is priced right, it will sell quickly. So rely on a trusted realtor like myself to guide you and advise you as you make your offer. In most cases, you will be able to include your inspection and appraisal contingency, but in a competitive situation, again, rely on your realtor for strategies that win but also protect you and your financial interest. Now, for my sellers, it's critical that you price your home appropriately. Using your neighbor's home that sold a year or two ago that had multiple offers and was under contract in one weekend is likely no longer an accurate comp. The most accurate comp for your home is the property that most similar to your home that recently sold. So if there's another home in the neighborhood that sold 2 months ago and is the same size and similar condition, this is the best comp to use to price your home. Also consider spending a little bit of money updating the property. Simply painting and updating the lighting and appliances in a home can do wonders for the space and make it more attractive to the buyer at minimal cost to you as the seller. For my investors, gone are the days when you can buy a property, do bare minimum repairs, cut corners on the renovation, and put it on the market for top dollar. I feel like a lot of investors have gotten very sloppy with their numbers and very sloppy with the quality of work. Buyers now have choices and time to make those choices, and if your property is competing against another home in the same neighborhood that has superior craftsmanship and was renovated renovated properly, meaning all permits were filed and inspections passed, the buyers will submit an offer on the better product. Put a little bit more effort into design and find ways to stand out in a positive way from the competition. It's probably wise to add a little bit more cushion into your ARV, especially if you're using hard money and part of a 4 to 6 month long project. If you want more information on how I can help you purchase or sell your home, you can schedule a free consultation with me. The link to my calendar is in the description below. If you are a buyer and you need help with budgeting, you can also find the link to the budget template that I give to my buyers. That link is in the description below as well. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what other topics in real estate you'd like me to discuss. My goal is to post educational videos every week. I'll see you guys next week.